hashtag WPMIA and connect us on Twitter. Also, if you are on Facebook, which I'm sure everybody in this room is, we also have a Facebook group, which is amazing for getting a bunch of answers to your questions. It's hashtag WPMIA. Also, I introduced Jackie, but I can't pass up the opportunity to introduce David.
Yay!
David is set. Let's go, man. So David is our handling everything WordCamp related, and he's going to talk to you guys a little bit in a minute or so about WordCamp. We got some new information and some exciting stuff that we're planning. It's going to be really, really good. So, we had a meeting just this past Friday, and it's going to be mind-blowingly awesome. So that also, I want to introduce Diana as well, because she is our other co-organizer for the Miami location. Yeah. What else? Okay, let's talk about what's going to happen today. How many? Just real quick, a show of hands. How many of you is your first time here? Yes. Awesome. Well, welcome. How many of you got? Obviously, I already know the rest of the percentage of the room that's not new. For those of you who are here again, welcome. Also, what usually happens in these meetups is we go over many topics of WordPress related items, and we usually have different walks of life in this room, from your very early beginner just starting out to your intermediate blogger or designer, what have you, to our full-on developer, advanced WordPress user, and then spaces in between, of course. What we're covering today, obviously, is going to be kind of website critiques. And Jackie's going to kind of go over a lot more of that in detail. But ultimately, what's this meetup and our meetups we do here in South Florida primarily is supporting the community of WordPress, getting you guys as much knowledge as possible, and also, being able to network and talk to each other about WordPress-related items and plugins and themes and all things galore with WordPress. Okay. Does anybody have any questions so far? Awesome. Good.
How do we get the streaming?
I'm gonna put a tweet up on WPMIA so you can see the streaming. If you're nice to me, maybe I'll invite you to our Google Hangout, and you can share your cams so you can give a different perspective to those that are watching at home.
Well, the streaming is the same thing that I'm presenting, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, like from their camera point of view, I want that.
Right, but I mean, he asked about watching the stream. Same thing.
It's the same thing you're going to be watching here, but we're also recording it, so we'll have it for later.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll be doing tutoring. So if you guys have any questions specifically about your site or server-related problems, we'll have a team of experts swarming you and helping you on your questions.
All of our organizers are pretty good at solving those issues. We have David, we have Diane. We have a great wealth of knowledge for that. We have giveaways too, right?
In my car.
In your car. Okay. Make sure that you tweet.
Giving away a car?
No.
Yeah, we're giving away a car.
I left it in my car.
We're going to be giving an award. We have a bunch of giveaways that we're giving that we're going to give to the most person that tweets the most, and also we're going to do a drawing at the end with your business cards. So if you have business cards, put them up here, and we'll go ahead and put that in a drawing for our giveaways. Okay. Let me go ahead and turn it over real quick to David. David, I know you have a bunch of stuff WordCamp related. Yeah, you can have to get up. Sorry. Let's give another hand to David.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, kids. Doesn't really help matters, does it?
You want to go behind me or take a seat?
No, that's fine. Since many of you here are new here for the first time, I'm not sure you know. Anybody know what a WordCamp is? Anybody doesn't know what a WordCamp is? Anybody knows who I am? Anybody doesn't know? You're too slow. Anyway, let me explain something real quick to you. That's weird. If you go to WordCamp.org, you'll realize that meetups that we have here tonight are just smaller versions of what WordCamps are actually on. I'm sure everybody is probably seen or at least been to or at least know of conferences, annual conferences. WordCamp is basically an annual conference all around the globe, practically literally at least one happening every week around the globe, with anywhere between 100 to 600 people in it that talk basically about WordPress, just kind of like how we are doing here this evening. The topics are varied. There's a lot of speakers that come to speak, and it's for beginners. It's right up to advanced people. Some people from WordCamp are from the WordPress Foundation, from Automatic, people that make WordPress, people that contribute to WordPress core. Those people also come down here and they give presentations and they can talk and share experience. It's primarily about education, but we have a lot of fun and we have a lot of interesting things planned. So we have had, has anybody here been to a past WordCamp Miami? Okay, so there's a few. So this is our fourth one coming up. It's on April 6th and 7th. It's held at a new location, and it's so new I can't even give you directions to it yet, but we're going to have them posted on the site. It's going to be the Art Institute off of Biscayne Boulevard. We've had it before University of Miami. This is the only website, if you're trying to write this down, just write down 2003.miami.wordcamp.org.
2013.
2013, whatever.
Did they have words?
We're trying to get one for 2003, but we think we're going to miss the boat on that. What's that? Question from the back.
I was going to say, did they have WordPress back then?
No. Close, but no. No. What am I on Facebook?
The group?
Hashtag WPMIA.
Yeah, so, okay, so we're having our fourth one this year. Last year we had about 450 people come, so this year we'll probably meet or exceed that. So it's a large event, even from a WordCamp perspective. And our website is up and the dates are just released. Sponsorship information is online, so which is what I want to talk about too. If you have any local businesses, especially those who may use WordPress for their business, the first one that come to mind would be anybody internet related. Because WordPress is free software, if people choose to give back monetarily, they can do so by getting like the smallest sponsorship for WordCamp Miami. But essentially, it's all the information you need to know right here. We're going to update our locations. We just have the address of the Art Institute information. We'll get you better directions in the next week or two, posted online.
So it used to be, yeah.
And one or the other? I have no idea. Okay.
Nice.
I really mind. That's close. Or at least I used to, back when the internet didn't exist. But anyway, you may want to check out that site. And here's the other thing too. I want everybody to, if they haven't already, to get on the mailing list, because the mailing list helps us determine a bunch of different things, and you can win potentially free stuff. So before you leave here tonight, I want you to go to this website, or you can go or find us. I believe we have the link still somewhere on our Facebook page. Let's see. Scroll down the Magic Man.
Magic Woman.
Well, this is it, right?
Yeah, but if you can find that link that Jack is pointing to now, that's great. Or you know what, better yet, I'll tweet it if you people aren't doing the tweets, So we really want people to be on the mailing list because that gives us a good communication method. We've got we opened it on January 1st, we have 250 people on it, so the demand's pretty big this year. We've never had this many people ask us about the event before. We usually have the event in February, but now we pushed it to March to give us more time. It's going to be at least a 2-day event.
April.
Okay?
April.
Sorry.
April 6th or 7th.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Seattle, which I'm helping with. So.
This is a new mailing list or an old mailing list?
No, see, here's the thing. before, we used to use a bunch of crappy mailing lists. We used Meetup.com, we would use Eventbrite. All those things are horrible. So we decided to get a brand new, just for us, mailing list. We got on MailChimp, we created a brand new, and that's going to be our mailing list now from here on out. Because you can see us subscribe, you don't want to. You don't want to unsubscribe necessarily Meetup stuff because you might want to learn future Meetup, so we don't want to spam that channel.
Yeah, so the link is right above the Follow WordCamp Miami button, so it's right here.
Unless another tweet. Here.
You should just create like a
I'll
link.
just tweet again on it. But essentially, the important thing you got to remember, 2013.miami.workcamp.org, if you're interested in this, ticket prices for these are usually very low. If it's above $35 something for 2 days, full days worth of stuff, and as soon as we get speakers next month, we'll even have a schedule up and everything. So, no.
Not yet. We'll announce it.
Probably in a couple of weeks, once we get a better, clearer picture, a few details.
Are you still looking for volunteers?
Yes.
Well, generally yes, but we won't have the volunteer form until next month. It's a little too early, and we're kind of gathering some students to act as our volunteers. There's also another thing too. If you are students actively, or you know someone who is a student or a teacher of a college or high school, you can give them discounted tickets or sponsored tickets too. So, like I said, this is educational. Is there any questions before I disappear on this? You're going to hear a lot more about this later, but I would prefer to send emails on it on the mailing list rather than trying to talk to you guys up here, because you can read faster than I can talk. I sound bored. Absolutely. If you're any volunteer at all, we're just asking for a couple of hours tops. It's usually just for registration and cleanup, the very beginning and the very end of the thing. Anybody who volunteers is going to be able to go and participate or go to the sessions. Yeah, that's a big thing about. I think.
For sponsors, like anywhere in Florida, not just the Miami area, or like that way up in Jupiter, if I can get business there.
No, absolutely we take any sponsorships as long there are. Okay, good. There are some minor qualifications for sponsors, so you may want to just click on the sponsors tab on the website. There's a brief explanation and a PDF you can download and read the PDF. Actually, compared to other work camps, we're dirt cheap because our venue is actually donated. So, and the more sponsors we get, the sooner we get them, allows us to lower ticket prices. This is not for profit, just like these meetings are here to see. We're not out to make a buck. All we're doing is we want to cover our costs, get you guys a couple drinks, and break even. That's our goal. So, is there any other questions?
T-shirts too.
Yeah, there's
in the works.
In the works. It's
lots of surprises this year, so you're not going to get much in these parts.
What's the least amount to become a sponsor?
$250 is a community sponsorship.
You'll see it here. It's on the sponsors page, and then there's a PDF, and the packages has all the price points.
Yeah, no
what
mysteries.
you get for.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So no mysteries. There's no. The prices are set. I'm confident that we're going to get our sponsorships. And at the same time, if you're trying to target anybody at the event, like I said, 400 or 500 people come of a certain demographic. If you'd like to, and the community sponsorships are primarily for people who want to get back to the WordPress community. Some people give their time volunteering. Some people just like to write a check. And if your business makes a couple $100,000 or even $100,000 a year or whatever it makes, if by using WordPress as free software, then you could donate that. Consider that as a donation back to a WordPress event as part of your, if your conscience is bothering type of thing. Whatever works for you, So anyway, is there any other question with WordCamps in general, ours in specific? We'll be talking more about this later. I just figured I'd get the dates, set the dates, and then just keep on the mailing list for Twitter or the website soon when tickets go on sale. By the way, we sell out every year. So please, if anybody is going to not miss out on something, I'd rather not meet people in the meetups.
Yeah.
Because that's really tough if you got somebody coming up and says, do you have any more tickets? No, we're full capacity, and we don't want the fire marshal to come, so, so just, anyway. Check out the website, let me know if you have any questions. Just ping me on Twitter or Facebook. And or
Thank you, David. Okay.
So the best way to stay in the know about tickets is to follow us at WordCamp Miami on Twitter, WordCamp Miami on Facebook, and definitely you'll know by subscribing to the mailing list.
I just posted.
This is one of our speakers last year. Was it last year?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah.
Yes, last year.
Last year.
I mean, I learned something all the time, even by the questions and all the other speakers. I love it. I mean, I'm a WordPress fanatic, and I've been working for a couple of years now, and
Good job.
learning WordPress is like the best technology that I've ever.
We should be controlling the camera from now on.
The other thing that about WordCamp, guys, is it changes a lot of people's I want to say mindsets and careers and things like that. There's a lot of information that gets put out there that can radically change how you use WordPress today. So I urge you guys to be involved in some way or some fashion. Like, you guys are getting just a little sliver here in these meetups of what's going to happen at WordCamp. Like, we're talking like speakers that come down from all over the U.S.
Outside the U.S.
Outside the U.S. even.
Yeah, I think the most amazing people that, like, they're so down to earth, and then when you get to know who they are and what they've done with WordPress, it's like, wow.
Do we have any designers here? Do we have any front-end developers? Do we have any freelancers? Okay, we're actually going to have a workshop.
And beginners.
Oh, yeah.
There's always a beginner, intermediate, developer track, so no matter what you know about WordPress, you'll get something out of it. A lot out of it.
How many beginners do we have in here? Awesome. That's great.
So we have a mixture.
Raise your hands again. Yes. We'll just lump you in the beginner. That's okay.
The other thing that makes I went to my first WordCamp last year. It just changes your whole mindset. You realize this huge community, but it's well organized. Typically, a conference like this in any other field, I mean, you're talking $200 to $500.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Damn!
No, the fee
It's
is
not more.
Yeah.
Forget it, stop.
It's like $40 a ticket
Yeah, $40. I mean,
for
normally
2 days.
in other, software or whatever, you're going to pay at least $200 to $500 to get all the knowledge out. And the other thing I liked about it is there's 3 different levels. There's beginner, intermediate, and advanced developer. And so there's something there for everybody all day, every day. It's totally worth it. It's totally awesome.
And if you know somebody that wants to speak or not sponsored, speak at the we're accepting speaker application now until February 17th. Now, the reward is you feel free to send an application. I can tell you how much it's going to be just because it's sharing for applications that we get it. We got about $100.
Wow.
Yes.
So, okay, with that being said, let's go ahead and let's go into our meat and potatoes of this meetup today. Jackie is probably the most talented person I know when it comes to social media, but she also knows how to dissect a really good website and kind of break it down and say what works and what doesn't. And she does this for a living. So the information that you guys are going to be getting today with your websites are amazing. The other thing is, if you guys weren't able to submit your websites for review, please go ahead and tweet them, and maybe we can get to, if we have extra time, maybe we can actually go through them. Or maybe we'd be able to do it after the meetup later on down the road through Twitter or through Facebook. Okay? So with that being said, let's give a round of applause for Jackie Jimenez.
Thank you. So I'm going to go into 2 websites. The first one is friendlydivorce.com, and then the second one is miamiandthecheap.com, and both are, from one end of the spectrum. The first one I'm going to go into a lot of content-based, and then the second one I'm going to go into critiques as well as open it up to you guys because it is Miami-based website, so we'll want to get some feedback for it, and we have the website owner in the audience as well. So I'm going to start with going into a couple of different critiques not critiques, a couple of different topics as far as what I'm going to cover within the critique. And FloridaRambler.com, I'm actually going to compare to MiamiOnTheCheap.com. That was a user-submitted site as well to kind of show, and I'll get into what those two are about. So my critique focus, I'm going to focus on user experience, which is huge. This can make or break your site. If the user comes to your site and the navigation is hard to follow, or the content is not easy to consume, or there's too many ads on the site, you'll have a high bounce rate. You'll have a lot of users dropping off your site or not staying on the site for that long. So I'm going to critique it as far as that. Call to action is very important. It needs to be clear. And the call to action is basically saying, what do you want the user to get out of your site? What is your goal? Conversion, I'm going to go into, I actually have Google Analytics that I'll show as well. Some SEO and social sharing is applicable on the site. So I focus on, as far as those critiques, and I also want to come back to what makes someone leave a website. So I took this is from Kissmetrics. It's another analytic tool, kind of like Google Analytics. And so this is an example of studies that they've done as far as what works, what doesn't, and kind of how to fix it. So if you guys wanted to refer to something, I'll tweet that out later for the Pinterest pin. And so I pick and choose a couple of different scenarios and apply them to the critiques that I'm doing. So we're going to start with friendlydivorce.com, and let me show you the site. This is from Eleanor Robbins, who's here in the back of in the back of the room. And keep in mind, I'm not a developer. I can tweak some things, but if you guys, so it's going to come more from the marketing perspective and what works, what doesn't. So this is a friendlydivorce.com, and at first look at it, the first thing that I saw was the background was pixelated, and that's just like made me cringe, because that's where my eye went instead of the content. Now it also tells you that the content is not optimized correctly because it's it doesn't have a focus. The background itself, you probably can't see it too well in here, but it's very blurry.
Yeah.
A lot of
whites and black spots. Like it's what we refer to as pixelation. When a picture resolution is really small and you're trying to stretch it really big on a background. So that is is the first thing that the eye goes to. So it can be very unprofessional looking, if you will.
Yeah, and I mean, I see where you were going with this, with the friendly divorce. That's the branding. So the because you are a mediator, I see that's why you did the rainbow. But just the image itself. That's not why. That's not why.
I don't care. I don't speak with pieces.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So the image that he used was too small, and he tried to elongate it. That's why it's blurry and pixelated.
Even just a regular solid color would have been better in this.
Yeah, so that's the first thing I would change. Aside from a complete redesign, I'm not going to get into that because it obviously needs a complete redesign. We're going to focus on what the website currently has and how to make it better. So, as far as the top 8 things of making someone leave the site, in here, the user experience is, boring content, boring design. It's, as far as the design is, it's pixelated, it's blurry, so that's not, web 2.0 friendly, as well as the content itself is written in a format where it's like a research paper. There's a certain way that you write for websites. It's, there's 2 ways, writing for SEO as well as writing for conversion. This way is just continuous content. Basically, her homepage is a couple of posts fed to the homepage by category. So it's not actually a home page. It doesn't actually have a call to action. And what you see here is the entire article, or the entire blog post. You'll see on the right, follow it along. It literally goes all the way down. Oh no, it still goes. Still goes. So then too, boring content, boring design, you have all this white space, all of it, that's not used properly. And typically this would be overwhelming for a user to come to the site. So I would bet, I don't have access to your Google Analytics, but I would bet the bounce rate is very high.
You know, I have never gotten any analytics, nothing. I have never even seen how many people come to it. I have gotten nothing. I've asked for it a few times, I've never seen it.
It's installed on your site. I looked at the code, but you just probably don't have access to it as far as your email. Usually there's a user that would be added onto Google Analytics. They would need to add you as a user. You have, it's tracking.
It is?
Yeah, you have Google Analytics on your site, but you just don't have access to it. So, as you can see, content is still going. This is the entire blog post.
That little long thing really is one of the posts from another page.
It is from another page, and that's something I'm going to get into as well. So as you can see, there's a couple things that you can do. I would say use of the sidebar would be in widgets. Would be, she has a Facebook page. She has a great YouTube channel in which this video doesn't come from. This YouTube video is going to a completely other YouTube channel, and that affects her branding. If someone goes here and let's say they decide to click on it, open a new tab, and this is from not her channel, this Mail to Earth channel that has completely unrelated videos on it. That's something that affects her as far as people consuming her content. And
so when somebody clicks on that video, they don't go to YouTube, they stay here.
If someone watches the video here, it stays on here. But what I'm saying, I took it a step further to see where this video came from, and it was on someone else's channel. But you have this video on your channel as well.
Yes, totally on my
Right, so I would feed in the code from it to actually come from the video from your channel. So then once this stops, people can consume more of your videos. Right now, once, let's say they watch the entire video, they'll go to, it looks like it was a videographer or a couple other Boca videos.
Not to get too technical with it, there are ways of copying content like this. If let's say somebody else created this YouTube for you, and it's ultimately your content, you can copy this video and then turn around and upload it to your own channel.
Right.
It is on my own channel.
Then that's the one you want to put on this front page.
Yeah, but she's looking, you're right. There's 3 other short videos that somebody did once that he wanted to put on one of his informational sites. That those videos really are complements to this, but somehow there's no, like the right video doesn't know what the left, no linking, the right video doesn't know what the left is.
Correct. And as far as, writing for web, there's, well, first of all, I wouldn't associate your post to the page because this dates your website. It would tell someone that your website was last updated August 25th, which, is not recent content. So I would, basically a lot of pages on her site are blog posts associated to the page. So you see the date, you see the content, then there's another post. Typically you want, and this is going into SEO, you want titles within your content. Those are called heading tags. So you want an H1, an H2, and an H3, and that disseminates what content is underneath that title, as well as our keywords used in the title, which help the website as well. It helps categorize your website and put the right content with the right title, as well as it's easier to read. Right now, these are just blog posts. This is essentially the title of the blog post. And then her content. Another thing, too, is writing for web needs to be cut down a lot. Basically, the meat and potatoes should be there instead of this is written like a research paper. So it should be, there should be bullet points, there should be titles, breaking up your content as well as putting images that have to do with the content, which helps SEO as well, because you would tag your pictures with the right keywords. So as far as a usability standpoint, I could see someone coming to the site and being overwhelmed and leaving. There's no title here. As far as the content, the way it flows, it just continuous text. That's all it is. Then if you go into an interior page, because she has no widgets, this shows up, which doesn't look good, as well as that's making your site vulnerable. So
we get terrible problems. First we were on GoDaddy. We were like infiltrated, hacked, whatever. The site was down for 2 months. And then in October, finally somehow got it back. And that's when everything got pushed out.
Yeah, and we had to move it to Blue Gold to Boston stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put it up right now. Jackie, for Jackie J.
Yeah, so that makes sense. You still have some malware on here that I saw that needs to be taken out, as well as the code is visible on here, which shouldn't be the case. So from a usability standpoint, like I said, not effective. Let me go into, and data actually suggests that 40% of visitors don't return to a website after having negative experience. That's almost half of your visitors that you lose. And they're... Mm-hmm.
Other books or presentations you read about?
Copyblogger is a really good resource. It's copyblogger.com. And he's one of the authorities, Brian Clark. And conversion, basically, and I'm going to go into call to action too, like whatever your goal is on the site. So for example, if your goal is if you have a shopping cart and it's an e-commerce site, so you're selling something, your conversion would be sale. If you were like copyblogger.com, which is an informational site, your conversion, people signing up for the email subscription, and that's what converts. Or in Eleanor's case, her case is on conversions for people to contact you. This is great as far as information. It's not laid out in an easy to digest manner, but her goal for conversion would be to contact. Typically on the menu bar too, you would want contact us to be the last one, typically home, and then the contact would be here. This too, not effective. If you go to find us on Facebook, you click on it, they're leaving your site, and they're going to your Facebook page. You want them to stay on your site. So instead of that, what I would suggest is, to alleviate her problems of not having a widget is
set up, you click that way, you click on Facebook, you just go.
Yeah, there's an option within WordPress to do that. That's one way, but I would say a better way to do it is a like box. And because you have nothing on your sidebar, nothing that people can consume, a like box is effective where they can see your content coming from your Facebook page as well as like it directly. Sometimes people don't want to click on outside links, so right here, it's just like, that's the call to action. Call to action, like our Facebook page, it's right there. So one way that you can do it is actually go to Facebook.com and you can search Facebook developers like box or plug-in like box on Google, and it'll take you to here. All you have to do is put in the Facebook page URL, what it is, so this could be a friendly course. Then you can kind of customize how you want it. You can show faces, which is this, or you can get rid of it so it's just the content, and then you get code. And all you have to do is copy that code, put it into a text box for a widget, and that's it. So if you don't know code, it's just literally copy and pasting. You could, yeah, you could do that, but I was just going the widget route because it won't slow down your site. The more plugins you have on your site, the more it's going to slow down. You can do the third-party like Box plugin, and all you do is put the link of what your Facebook page URL is. But so there are multiple ways.
You said before that you were able to go back and see the analytics are there. Well, I didn't even guess it, right? So if you were able to do it, does that mean any competitor or anybody else with, any knowledge could go in and do that also?
No, what I did is, this is available on any website when you view a source for the website. So what I searched was GA, or you could search Google, and it would find analytics, and there's there's a couple ways you can do it. But anyway, I know how to find if Google Analytics is tracking the site. I can't see your analytics, but I can see that it's tracking the site. Right. So it's tracking. Your email is not attached to the analytics, so you're not getting any updates on that. So one thing as far as to optimize the site is basically to have a flow to it. This doesn't really have a flow. Usually the way that I go goes on the screen, it starts at the top left, with typically there would be like a logo there. Now it's going across the navigation here and down to the right. And right now she's losing people because down to the right is this whole long blog post. And it's great information. This is actually telling someone if they're first getting divorced what to expect, and she's breaking it down. The content just can be concise, a lot more concise, bullet points, a lot better written, as well as it should be at the sidebar. This should be your call to action content. You can have a contact. You have contact form 7 on, so you can have a small contact form on there. So that's a call to action as well. The Facebook page, and I would even suggest on the interior pages, do great videos to have a little plugin that houses your YouTube channel. So those are a couple things you can do. There's obviously a lot more options. So as I said, the call to action not clearly defined. The navigation bar is 4, and within the navigation, these are categories. So this will make you guys finish. So the bibliography are, again, she has great resources, just not housed in a proper manner. Bad use of the sidebar. This is just repeated some resources. So what I would suggest, this is your malware.
Yeah, a lot of this, that never was on the sidebar before. Now, you're right, it looks like a report. Even when it was right, it looked like a report. It was just like a huge long list of books looking up by age. Like adult books for adult children, boards, books for teenagers, books for little kids, the picture books. It was like just a huge long list.
Yeah, and one thing you can do within your posts is you can do more. You don't have to have all the content on that page on the admin. So you can, you have your paragraphs, and then you do this. That breaks up your content more, and they can click to get more information. They don't have to see the entire post there, because it's overwhelming. So there are a couple of issues on this site, as well as she still has spam on it. So that's the first thing that should be addressed, because where it says buy cheapest Cialis online, there's links embedded on here. There's also on another page.
No.
Well, this isn't from the comments. This is ingested into the site.
Oh.
Really?
Because I get all sorts of junk to my email, all sorts of weird comments. People that have all Russian stuff like that. Send me stuff. It never ends up on the site. How that's Cialis one not there.
The theme isn't protected.
No. Guys.
Something's wrong with the theme.
Yeah, she probably didn't remember GoDaddy, so everything that she had transferred over, the problem was taken care of from GoDaddy to Bluehost.
Is this a free thing?
It looks like 2012, but it's not. It's the child theme. Yeah. It's Trabuco child theme. I think it was the company that she hired created a child theme for a theme, so we don't know what the original theme is. And I would suggest too that create a whole new theme in general because of the way the content is being digested. One thing too is to consolidate your links. Right now you have bibliography, then you have links as well. I would create within your navigation, a parent page, so it would be resources, and then have secondary links underneath. So it'd be like a drop-down menu. That's where you can feed in bibliography and links, because those are both resources. Another thing too, and this is both with SEO as well as user experience, you want your content to associate to what the page is about. And right now, someone goes to this page, the FAQ page. There are no FAQs until you get halfway down the page.
Yeah, that's because the whole thing is about moves.
Yeah. So you want your content to associate with what the page is about, as well as I would create an FAQ page, not have posts associated to the page. That's what people are looking for. As well as another thing too that can be better seen, probably seen drop-down menus within FAQs. So it would say, what is information? And then it could either have a paragraph and say view more, or it would just have the topics, and you click on the topics and the content flows underneath. Again, even if this content flows underneath, it's still way too long, way too long. Typically you want around 250 to 500 words. I mean, 500 words is pushing it on a page. So you want like the sweet spot of 300 words per page, and this I would say is probably 1,000, if not more. It's a lot. And there's a certain way, again, for writing on the web. A lot more concise, a lot more to the point, because people are going to multiple sites. They're going to yours because you're an authority, and they want to get the information right away and then contact you. So again, on your conversion will be people contacting you.
From a marketing perspective, is really should be set up. The content should all be shrunk in there. And I should take a lot of that report, turn it into an ebook.
Exactly.
And say, here, put your name in here and get the ebook. And then be able to send out the ebook and keep the content book. Because it's still much content.
Yeah, and you're an authority, so I mean, the content is great, and it's better suited for an ebook because it's coming from a research perspective. So then you can have that contact form on the sidebar of your website, and that's a way to generate leads. That's a way of gaining interest in from those leads, and being able to follow up with them, and then to show that you're an authority figure as well. Another way to show it is to write an ebook and provide it. So again, like I said, consolidate and rearrange the menu links. Right now, there is no focus. Find us on Facebook usually isn't within the navigation. So that can be within a widget. Jetpack has a really good one. Jetpack's installed within your site. I typically like to do one each. So I like to do the like box. I like to grab the code from Twitter and make my own widget. Twitter, you could search for Twitter tweet plugin, and then that would form into a widget to put onto your site.
I guess with liking, you don't actually go to the website.
Right.
But with Twitter, you actually send them to Twitter.
No, it functions the same way like this does. You could, if you're logged into Twitter, you could follow them, and then it also has your tweets feeding in. I like Jetpack, and
So Jackie, on that one, just to review, you can't click, because I can't remember, because like on mine so long ago. So you can click like, it still sounds the same. Okay.
yeah, and that's the beauty of it. You want to keep people on your site. So this isn't effective because even if it's opening up in a new tab, their focus goes towards Facebook and not towards the content on the site. So, so I would definitely consolidate as well as I would switch the navigation. I would have your home about us right here because the way the eye goes, it's going to the logo first and then here. And these are all your ways of converting someone. You want them to contact you. You want them to learn about you so they know that you're credible in divorce mediation. And also the thing that is top of mind with them is how much do you cost. So I would switch your navigation as well as your categories, consolidate it, and even with Google Analytics, typically what I would do is see which categories get the most views and get rid of the links that barely get any traction because why keep on your navigation? It's just dead weight. So aside from redesign, which I would highly suggest a complete redesign, those are those are
An idea. I know this is putting you on the spot. In general, you were starting off fresh. What does a redesign cost? $1,500?
yeah.
Or you can get a theme already done. It'd be substantially less than from what I could hear and see. That would roll more than necessarily, but it's.
The theme, this is like really stupid, but remember I'm the oldest person here, so I can answer. The theme is a background.
The theme is
It's like a template.
yeah, it's like a template. So this is your theme, the way everything's laid out. You have two navigation bars. You have space. This is the way it's laid out. It has one sidebar. The background can change, so I don't know what it was before. Yeah.
Is the theme.
Are you on the Facebook page?
Yes, I just put a thing in for the he's on the Facebook.
All right. I'll start accepting people if you guys have.
And once the content is tailored down, again, I would put the most important content on your homepage. So that would basically summarize. It wouldn't be informational. It wouldn't be this. What to expect. It would be what a friendly divorce does, what services you do, pricing. You can just have a link to it that goes to the pricing page. But I would not associate these posts to the homepage. So.
Do you think that the site? Now, and remember, they're all messed up because when we went from GoDaddy to Bluehost, the whole thing got screwed up. But just as a side, do you think we should have the pricing on the website or not?
Yeah, I think so. Because, I mean, just like lawyers, they would say $250 per hour, whichever, on their site. So
lawyers usually don't. But here, the way we're operating now, we do it as a package deal. We know exactly how long it takes us. So, go ahead.
Is your pricing packaging is competitive pricing or great percentage rate? You can advertise it if you're selling the same person there.
Okay, and we're probably, there's definitely, you could definitely find somebody to get you divorced cheaper. I think that the unique background we bring, it's a bargain. But if you just wanted the paperwork and you didn't care if it was, a year from now, if it was going to come back and bite you in the nose, which a lot of people don't care.
I would focus more on the value you guys provide. Because I watched your video, and it's not just getting the paperwork done, going to court, okay, you're divorced. You're taking a step further to make sure the kids, for the long term, benefit from it, as well as the two people who are separated can get along for the kids. So on this page, I would focus on services and then the value that you provide. You might not need the pricing. but you could say what the service is, and what entails of the service, and then just simple contact us and a link to the contact page for them to find out your pricing. But really, this page should, and it doesn't. It's just it's just saying we're doing a documented form preparation. I don't get the value from this just by reading it. So that's what that page should focus on.
I went through divorce a long time ago, and when I went to talk to an attorney, I would just give you a suggestion that I would make it more professional. I know you want to make it technical, cozy feeling.
Yes.
But the reality is that when I'm in a divorce, I want to make sure that I would like a more professional over there. But then what you can do is on the blog, you can write stories. So I get the website and it's really professional, clean look, very crisp. Even though, I see your personality is more I would put on when I meet.
Yes.
But on the website,
They don't get that feeling.
I would like to see that, and then the blog posts be very personal for the blog posts, like maybe share stories and how you get to meet them. And share the stories in the blog posts, but make it totally very, a little bit more fun.
Yeah,
So you don't like the smiley faces and all that stuff?
No.
Yeah, because the way this looks, it looks more like a blog when you're looking at it. It's not professionally done, and you guys are accredited in what you do. So it's a really great point.
And I
It doesn't.
like the name, but I love the whole look to be super, very.
A lot more professional.
Yeah, very clean, professional. And then just make it raw with all your personality and raw.
Yeah.
And they could be in the videos.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and that's something that should be housed more on here, because that shows what actually you guys do and the value that they're getting out of it, because it's it's video, it's visual. They can see what's going on. Another thing too, with prime real estate you're missing out on is your footer. The only option you have is to turn to the top of the page. Currently, someone probably wouldn't even get here to put it to the bottom. I would put your links back here as well, your main navigation, so it would be the home, about us, services. There's another one, contact us, those should be there. You can even put a map in here like you have on your contact page of where you guys are located, or even the address, so you can make it like a 3-widgetized footer. So right now it's not used well. Right now, if someone goes to the bottom of your page, they'll leave because there's really not much option, and unless if they wanted to go to another page. You want to make it easier on them. So you want to provide the content rather than forcing them to click to the top of the page, because then that's an extra click. That's an extra step that they have to take. So again, yeah, use your footer, that's prime real estate, and break up your text. Another thing too with your blog posts, this is an example of, which actually Miami the Chief does a really great job at it. So you guys are following this format, but she's not. So I want to show it. Perfect blog post. Your blog post should be structured in a way that's easy to consume for the person, as well as has your call to actions. Typically your headline is here. You usually have an image with your opening, and your opening is a couple of sentences, basically telling you what the rest of the blog post is about. Your subhead. Now that also functions in a great SEO perspective because it can have keywords in there, and it's a title for the rest of the content. Then you have your call to action. And your call to action would be, sometimes to get the rest of it, or sometimes in the middle we'll have, do you enjoy this content, subscribe for more. That could be a call to action. Another subhead to break up your content, and then your last call to action for you would be, to subscribe to more posts or to contact you. Here it says buy or subscribe. You don't have anything to sell on that site, so it would be a way to subscribe to more posts, or to contact you for more information on your services. And this way too, you can structure in a way with your story where you have maybe from one side of the divorce, here's the content. The other side of the divorce, here's the content. What was resolved, and the resolved would be the call to action at the bottom. So typically your blog posts are structured in that way because they're easy to consume as well as good for SEO. So that's pretty much what I have for friendlydivorce.com. It's a lot of work as far as the content, as far as the design.
You need to be people away and start afresh.
Yeah, not thrown away completely. Some of the pages thrown away completely. Some of it can even be rewritten from a content writer.
Rewritten, but we need to start.
It needs a big overhaul. That is very true.
You might want to look for somebody who does marketing to the project for you as opposed to a web designer. And the marketing person would know what you're doing.
Which is what Jackie does.
Right. Yeah. Well, Jackie is a twofer. You're the twofer because you're the marketing and the web page, just like we're the twofer.
Yeah, Michael's the web
lawyer
guy.
and the therapist, right?
Right. Yeah. So that's why we work well together, because I see it from a marketing perspective and he sees it from a development perspective.
Two for the price of one.
So that's
two for the price of two.
So that's pretty much a friendlydivorce.com, and this is MiamiOnTheCheap.com, and we have two of the owners of the site. We have Teresa and how do I pronounce your name? Onelia? Yeah. Okay. Basically, this is from a parent living on the Cheap network. So there are different cities within the On the Cheap brand, and this is the Miami version. It is not on multi-site, but all the sites do look the same. So they have pretty much the same look and feel, and things of that nature. So as far as making changes to this site, they would have to be implemented, throughout the other sites if she sees fit. Yeah, she did a really great job on her own. Can be better. We'll get into that.
We're looking to blow it up and build a new site.
Yeah. So this is my issue. Basically, it serves as both a what's coming up soon, how to get a deal on that event Miami, as well as she's Groupon on there, she's Living Social deals on there, all combined into one blog post, which a lot of not coupon type, but deal type sites do roundups, and that would be all of the deals within one blog post. So she has that as well. And so she basically wants to be a resource of what you can do in Miami as well as with a discount. Yeah.
It sounds like a great website.
Yeah. So one of the cardinal sins that they did was too many ads, and I wouldn't say too many ads, but the way the ads are laid out on the site. As you can see here, it's a busy site, which a lot of deal sites are, but these links can be consolidated as well as I would love the entire sidebar and have it, have just the right sidebar. And so, because your goal on this site is for people to consume your content, but you're limiting how they can consume your content because it's in the middle of the site. So that's one thing. Too many ads, as you can see, let me scroll down and you can see it. When Kissmetrics is saying too many ads, you need to deter from the content on the site. And the way your eye is going on the site is towards the left and right sidebar, am I correct? I mean, you're not really seeing, it's a lot, as well as she has widgets, links to the other cities. So what I would do is consolidate, and you can have rotating ads, as well as and I would pair your ads with your widgets. So that's one thing. When people go to the site, it's overwhelming as far as how many links there are. Just like I said to Eleanor, to focus on Google Analytics, seeing which links are being consumed the most. Keep those on the navigation. The ones that aren't, take them off because you have the option of people finding. You have the option of people finding your content through your quick link. I'll wait a little bit. And the other thing too, actually, let me get into, is repetitive content. So you have in a couple spots. This is probably the best laid out, and great job on creating the widget yourself. This is the best laid out version of how to interact. So she has 3D Team Days. You can see these links. It's repeated within here. The quick links. It's also repeated all the way on the bottom with Miami Life on the sheet. So basically that's 3 times, and that's real estate that can be better used. So I would use the most effective one, which would be this one right here, this widget. Again, that's easier on the eye, as well as not very text-heavy in comparison to all the links that are before. And these are probably the most important links that people click on. And I would have this and one of the two. I mean, these are exactly the same right here, the quick links and the Miami Life on the sheet. So I would keep Miami Life on the sheet because quick links, as a user perspective, I wouldn't think Miami right away. I would think best cheap hotels. Like, is this a link to Google AdSense or is it not? And at least within the title of the widget, they know that within Miami these are the best cheap hotels. Like it's all the way here. It's just make it simple. For some people who are, a lot of people come to a site and they might not know how it works. So make it as simple as possible so then they can consume it as best. So
That is correct. Yeah. We use Google AdSense so we can advertise, and we have a few direct sales.
Is there any way she could get more ads?
If I had ad salespeople, yes. Or better ad networks.
Yeah. Do you mean more visual ads on the site, or?
Well, anyway, I mean, she's giving away really good information. She can't make any money doing it. She's not going to keep doing it.
Right. So just like she said, the better way of doing it is locally selling to restaurants in the area, or have a better ad network, because Google takes out a lot from the ads. So right now, at first glance, there are 2 most important things on our site: the ads as well as the content. And to solve the content issue is to elongate making your content, make it a 2-column site. Right now it's 3 columns and it's overwhelming. So the other, as far as my perspective, the call to action is on there, and what they would want to show is an authority for Miami, an authority site on where to find the deals, as well as the discounts on the events. So they want to show that, as well as what to do this weekend. The call to action is to have people become repeat visitors. Right now she has about 60% of her visitors are dropping out and don't come back. Actually more than that. I think it's 80-20. And
for bounce rate?
No idea.
Yeah. One thing to focus on with Google Analytics is when you're seeing how people are consuming the content on your site, you go into, it's underneath standard reports and then your audience. If you go into visitors flow, that's where you can see where people are coming to on your site, where they're dropping off. So she has about 30,000 people visiting her site monthly. She can get the higher paying ads. Yeah, because she's got, the numbers to show it. So it's one thing, and that'll.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
About 4 years.
Yeah. But this is a good time now for you to actually reach out to local businesses since you're already
Yeah,
established.
absolutely.
And and maybe with less ads, you can.
Exactly, and then that helps with
The I'm a background, so we don't have anybody involved in our group who's very savvy about advertising. That's one of the things we need to do.
Yeah, so you can see she has, for the past month, she had 36,000 visits, 30,000 dropped off. So that's an indicator on how the layout is on her site as well. I mean, the content's great because they're writers. Like, there's nothing wrong with the content because they write well and they're also putting in links.
Well, there was also a small one. Some version like that was not
But I'm saying, like, the way it's going to a blog post.
Jackie, when you say they 30,000 dropped off, you mean they just went to the whole page and left, or within a certain amount of time?
Yeah, within a certain amount of time. Her total time on the site is a minute and 40 seconds. So that's actually, it's not bad. So people are basically coming here, getting what they want, and leaving. But the thing is that she has her repeat visitors are low, and you would think that this would be a site where someone would come back to and be like, now this weekend, what's an event that I can go to at a discounted rate?
Well, I mean, to me that also says that they're reading one or two articles and that's about it. They're leaving. They're not navigating anywhere else on the website.
Right.
So they're getting you're getting the traffic from a good source, and they're viewing one or two articles that you post in another social media like Facebook or Twitter or whatnot. But then that's it. They're done with the article and they don't go and search for anything else.
Right. That's why we think we should blow apart design. One of the reasons we think we should blow apart.
Well, let me ask, do they have an email opt-in so that you try to get people to sign
Yeah,
up?
we have about 2,100.
Yeah, it's in right here. Get one free newsletter every day, as well as.
Also, I can see right now. Okay, scroll all the way down.
To the bottom, or?
Yeah, just okay. One good thing on any post or article is something that's related to it in some way or some form. You have a lot of great source material, so I'm sure you have it keyworded and things like that. Those things can be.
No, probably not, but.
Well, let's say you start going categorized. You can start doing related posts so that they can click to something else that's similar.
Yeah, one thing I would suggest, it's from Shareaholic. Sexy Bookmarks is the bookmarks that they have, but Shareaholic is a plugin that you can put on your site, and it has the option of view related posts. So it puts in, and you could choose if you want 2 or 3 related posts to come in, and it comes in right underneath. Because right now you just have links. This is the most recent post, but right now, if someone comes to a blog post that's below the comment, they might not even see this. This is
We had a server crisis and had to serve out everything that was absolutely essential. Now we're on a dedicated server with other sites in network, so we can probably access it.
Yeah, you need to be on a dedicated server with the amount of traffic.
Yeah. If HostGator's not working too much, Media Temple is a really good dedicated. Media Temple.
So on here, the call to action would be for someone to subscribe to the newsletter. That's one way to get them coming back. And you have that 3 times here. You have it here. You have it. If you enjoy this post, make sure you subscribe to the email newsletter, and then you also you had it at the top. Yeah, the post you had it on the top and the bottom of the post.
I think I used to have 2 plugins that did that. One was at the top, and one was at the bottom.
So I would just do the bottom because you have this here. So it's repetitive content that can be stripped out. Like I said, the quick links is the same as Miami Life on the Cheap. It's called. Yeah, Miami Life on the Cheap. And then you also have that third version. So I would keep this one. This is effective. And I would get rid of the quick links.
She would know more about what to put on there, so they wouldn't drop that. Like they're looking for their music conferences. So, maybe they would search it, and you will see that search for it, and you couldn't find what they were looking for, so they left. Add that
Yeah, you can put goals within your Google Analytics. So for a certain page or for a certain keyword, you can track how the traffic is going for that. But
Our theory is that people are coming in, searching on Google, and going to a specific post, finding the information they're looking for, and it's going away.
Good theory.
Well, that's what,
Because we get a lot of.
So if it's not been like at the end of each blog post, that would be a good thing, then, right?
that would be a good thing, as well as the view-related posts. And that way, the way, here, I'll show you how it looks so you can see it.
I actually have a day job putting C-related posts on stuff.
yeah,
We do it manually.
manually, yeah. But there are a bunch of plugins and things like that that can do it automatically.
Yeah, we're just told, no.
No, yeah, because, yeah.
But it might be, as I say, we might go there.
Oh, that's lovely.
And also, we've just come up with a way to make our expired posts go into some category.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's good because you had like 147.
They'll still be there, but
Pages
well, actually, they won't be in that navigation anymore. It's taking, we've got about 100 posts to go through to expire manually for past years. 140 pages. We're started. The new post will expire when the new expires.
So this is how it looks, and you have thumbnail pictures. Yeah, this is how it looks too. The bookmarks, pretty much similar to what you currently have, but it also gives you the option of you may also like, so you can click and go to the other content. He doesn't have thumbnails on those two.
And you pick this, you may also like manually, or they pick it based on what the criteria you give it.
Automatically.
It's automatic. Yeah, so you don't have to do anything. Plus, since with so many posts.
So that's a plugin that we also like.
Yeah, if you search Shareaholic, it's Shareaholic. It's all one word, and it gives you options. You can disable and enable. So if because you already have, you can do it all in one plugin, which I would suggest. So get rid of your current plugins.
So that's part of the plugin.
It's part of the plugin, so you don't have two plugins, on your site. You can just use the sexy bookmarks, and you could choose how this looks. This is similar to what you have, or you can have them larger. There's different options that you can do, and then the you may also like. You could turn that on or off as well. So let's go back here. And again, I would tailor down the amount of category links you have on here. Only put the ones that are consumed a lot. You have. No, you best. No, I mean, because we're doing a right sidebar, I would suggest to have a drop down. So that you're consolidating it, it's not all visually within the navigation. I would do one line of navigation, not two. Consolidate it as much as you can. Viewing, and you could go into.
Just the one line in navigation. You say value one thing or value two.
Like you see, maybe the cheat. I'm saying on the main navigation. Yeah. Yeah, this is 2 lines, so consolidate it into one.
I read something recently that having too many drop downs is not good. So she's making it with 2 navbars and drop downs. So security is here on having long drop downs.
Well,
She doesn't have
not too long. I mean, she'll have go into the calendar.
I mean, we've asked our tech consultant to come up with some cuter widgets that we use to display different kinds of content.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to do a widget, I would focus on which page is consumed the most, and you could have the rotating content within that widget. It would basically put recent posts with that category, and would do that. I wouldn't have a widget with links per se, because you're just adding on top of your current ones you have. So I'd have it just rotate the most recent content. Another thing too, we go into free and cheap this week. This widget is basically telling you, per day of the week. These are all of her blog posts that are within for those days. A better way to do it, I would suggest, is to to put your calendar that you have. That's not as effective, because there's no way to shorten this, because you're showing per day. So if there's a couple events in one day, it's going to be longer. I would put more of a calendar and highlight within that what events are each day. They click on the 21st, and then that takes you to a page that has those days.
Do you like the calendar we have on the bottom, or is there? All of our consultants hate our calendar, calendar plugin, but we have that. But we can put that anywhere we want.
Yeah, I would put this higher up. It's not really serving you much good down here.
People are clicking on the calendar.
Because and in this way, usually they're going to come here and they're going to look for a specific day that they're free. So in here, it's overwhelming in that if they're...
We can put it on top of the list, sure. We also have our technical coming up with a more attractive calendar. That's the one that comes with full drop calendar.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit better, or could we just say it doesn't?
Yeah, because it's a lot.
We have a choice of how many days, but I don't know, if there are other choices, I am not able to make it.
Or you might want to, instead of doing this week, say this weekend, and just limit it to 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
If you had a custom developer, do something where you can have a default from a setting to change the updates to show me. So show me the next day, show me the next week, show me the next month.
Just kind of yeah, the chili, yeah, but I did it where instead of maybe advertising or.
Yeah, so we're building that. Basically, you click on that to sign up for the Choice Email Club, you get 75 cents. Those are actually fairly popular. I'm using Google AdSense, I use Logical Media, My Savings Media, they call it Slate. Yeah, I'm using all the basic plugins.
For your header too, I'm not personal. That message I say it's done so many times. On your header, you should probably determine from your Google Analytics what are your key, categorize from there. This is way too much.
Yeah.
You're talking about the navigation. You're talking about in the
navigation.
Yeah, that's what Jackie is saying too.
My personal license. So, 4 or 5 or 6 items that I should be able to scan in about 5 seconds. Like 5 to 10 seconds. Usually in a month, 5 or 6. And some of those items, like for example, let's advertise. Those would be 2 obvious ones that may not need to be there unless you create 2 things. Because if somebody's going to learn about you or advertise, change whatever, probably slow your side or they're going to look. quantify this, just,
Yeah.
See what your competitors are doing too, is how they're improving their navigation. Coupon.com, I don't know, whatever.
I'd like
See what they're doing.
slides about it.
They've got
So
a
like,
whole bunch of money on A/B advertising. Or A/B
Okay,
testing. excuse me.
I wanted to compare that
Figure that
to
out.
another one.
This is what revenue limited by our website. Basically, it's that we get, as journalists, and I mean, I used to design pages in the Miami Herald. I have some sense of sort of how things should look, but I do not have the ability to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a great thing that I chose because it's the most customizable that way.
Oh.
I have a couple more.
It is nice.
Yeah, the living on the street is a total different level.
Yeah, and this too, the prime real estate in the footer, like he was saying, it's not.
No,
It's not really used.
We want to go to the visitors, like, sit in and have a whole lot about that, all that stuff that are in color.
Yeah, that would be custom done by a developer. So that's one suggestion too, as well as, making sure that people aren't dropping off your site. This is, having a properly done footer can keep people on your site to click to other links and navigate through the site.
We could took one of those things off the space is called widget area buffer. We could put some of the things like about us and advertise links down there. I could just put it in the text box.
You could. So like I was saying, streamlining content, one of the, going back to what makes someone leave a website, within the bad content structure, if something's repeated a couple of times, it's just an excess of content. Like I was saying, with widgets, you have 3 that essentially serve the same purpose. Consolidate that, and then you'd be able to fit in your ads better as well. And like we were saying, become a repeat visitor, focus on the newsletter sign up. Just have it on the bottom of your post rather than top and bottom. You have it on the top right sidebar as well. She's also using the plugin SEO, or Yoast SEO, and because she has so many pages, so many posts, kind of sporadic use. So
we just installed it. We didn't know how to use it.
So I would suggest to do a little bit of keyword research, and you could use like a Google. Google has a free AdWords tool where you can do keyword research on a short end and implement your title tags, implement your meta description describing what each page is on your site, and that also helps Google navigate through your site and crawl it better. And have a focused keyword per page. So it might be Miami events or events in Miami, cheap event this weekend in Miami, something like that. So, and this is also one of the top plugins to use, and it's Yoast is the best one, I would say. Yeah. And it also helps a newbie kind of know what they're missing on their site, so then they're able to fill that in. So the Yoast SEO plugin is the authority SEO plugin. So within her social sharing, I did Shareaholic. So a couple of options. Probably the best one you have are Shareaholic, and their sexy bookmarks are just the bookmarks, but Shareaholic in general has a suite of tools to be able to share content. If someone wanted a simple tailored down approach, Add to Any is a one that they can do at the bottom of their post, and it's a drop down menu essentially to share on different social networks.
We actually did get along with something.
Probably not.
Yes.
Yeah, or Jetpack itself has a nice one, and I'll show you what that one looks like. So this is nice. Within the bottom of the post, this is what Jetpack provides as far as, and you could decide, how many social networks you want within that, and order it that way. This was custom done, so it's not going to look exactly like that, but it has a navigation of your social networks to share. So I wanted to compare my NLM Achieve to another user-submitted site, just so you can see the difference between a 3-column approach to a 2-column approach. This is FloridaRandom.com. This is a little different because it's more vacation approach on things to do in Florida. But you can see they do that. So it's a 2-column approach underneath the slider. This is a slider with this content. So essentially you could see, you don't need your slider to be the entire width of it, but it can be expanded out in here, or you can have the entire width. And then a 2-column approach underneath that. So the posts are here, and the ads aren't deterring too much because it's not all ads, it's links as well. Going down. And then they also, footer's way too big, but they have the ads here as well. So it's not obtrusive, and they're also using a footer. Again, way too long, but you can see the content can be easily digested better because it has more of a focus. So that's that site.
So you're saying you like that, that's the layout, that we should slide to?
This was a user-submitted site, so that's why I brought it up, and it was similar to what her site is, so that's why I compared the two, just to see a 2-column approach better. I think this is a lot better approach to what she has, and even the slider, too, is easier to consume because it's got a large image. You can click here, click
One of
here.
the problems we have is that we don't have it. Now, when we were looking for a news template, they all want to require large images. We don't have large images available.
Mm-hmm. But in here, I mean, even if this would have to be
We can make that a little, we can make those a little bit.
Yeah. Your image wouldn't be that large because if you expand it out to a 2-column approach, so this is your slider, your image would actually fit the space better. Yeah. This one is the entire width, which yours doesn't really need to be that way because no, I would suggest yours to expand out to 2 columns. And because yours is uploaded daily with posts, you're not going to have enough images to fit, and large images because it's constantly updated. So I would just expand the slider this way. Oh, one thing on this one I would suggest though is same thing on the links that I consume the most, and just have it one navigation bar instead of 2 lines. David brought up a good point. Typically, it should be 5 to 6 seconds where someone's going to a website and glancing at it, and if they're focusing their time on here, this is overwhelming. What type of carousel?
Sorry. There's so many of them that are like that.
This
There's not
probably
like one.
this probably is native to the theme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you just look at the source like what's that name? Or I meant to say right click and select element.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of boom. It's from very bottom.
Well, we could move on and one of those that are inspecting it can figure it out.
Yeah, I think it's native to the theme.
Yeah. All right, so
that's about it on the website critiques. We also have. Do you guys have any questions from the presentation?
well, right in there in the back. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, this is just a simple one. Okay, on the upper right-hand side, I think there's some advertisement. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering what your opinion is on that. Do you think? I mean, do you think it would have been better if he, like, if that person did the whole, header banner area at the top was floridareal.com, or do you think a little advertisement up there? I was wondering your opinion.
As far as the use of white space, it does fill that space. But I would suggest to make a logo and navigation for the entire web, because you're focusing on what the site's about and not having the ad go this way. So currently, right now, the ad is unobtrusive because it's a small ad. But a better way to do it is to make the focus more floridareal.com the entire way. I wouldn't put a leaderboard ad here, because then that's taking away from the actual content of the site. So right now it serves its purpose, and it's perfectly fine the way it is, because it's a small ad.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What's the site? EQ.
Jackie, I have a question about that, because I have some other things that I'm looking at and shopping that I kind of want something just like this. And I'm wondering if you scroll down a little bit, I'm wondering in terms of SEO, are you just don't know the answers and seem to know more about. So see how those little things right here are static. This is kind of keep the layout consistent for the home page. I don't know if is that good SEO or not?
You're talking about these three?
And whatever below it, yeah, the whole thing. A lot of WordPress websites have the blog loop that all the latest blog posts on front page. So I guess that's my question. Why that is trying to decide between a really beautiful professional layout like this one, or the one that she's got is very simple, but it's got all the blog posts on the home page with little art and excerpts and stuff. She thinks that's so she converts from that. She thinks that's better for the SEO. And she thinks if we convert from that, which really doesn't look professional, because it's a hypnotherapist site. If we go from that into a layout almost exactly like this one, she's creating channels for SEO in her ranking. She's on page 1 for hypnotherapists in Italy. So I'm just wondering what your opinion is for SEO on pages like this.
No, I mean, her content is going to stay the same. It's just the layout that's changing. And if she has like a blog roll, she has a blog roll on her page, I would limit it to 3 to 5 posts. I wouldn't do more than that, because then it's just overwhelming as far as how many posts are on the home page. So if she's going to stay on the blog roll route, limit how many posts show up, and that's an option within WordPress, or within the theme option. And then on here, this is basically custom done. So this isn't, well, actually it might be an actual post. This is probably going to a custom, web development page. So this is shortened, and this is helping his navigation, where the content is concise, and they're getting the most important information here. And then if they wanted to learn more about his custom web design and web development services, it goes to that page. So this is effective for SEO because it's, one, navigating the site better, too, as far as a utility standpoint, he's putting the most important information too, with a picture here to consume it better with the flow. If they wanted to read more, they can, or they can stay on their homepage and consume more of the content. So typically with an agency website, this is how it's going to look, and it links to an interior page.
Okay, I guess my other concern, or her concern is that she's not getting those 3 posts or links to whatever. It's probably going to be the same like a month or 2 from now. It's proper. So, I heard that we have fresh content on the homepage that helps your SEO. I don't know. That's what I'm asking. In other words, you have a blog post, you get fresh content, and then you tend to have more text. This is going to have less text. It's not going to get the fresh content. That's why I'm trying to figure out which way to go.
From a services standpoint, if it's a service-based site, then keep it this way. If her blog posts are a blog per se, I wouldn't keep that on the homepage because that's not showing her professionalism and the services that she offers. So if her blog posts are written in a way where they're informational, they're a little less geared towards what she does, wouldn't really have it on the home page if you want to put the most important information on the home page. So you can do it 2 ways. You can do it like he does, link to a specific page, or you can have the blog posts if they are servicing as a page as well. Cut down on content and then the read more to the page. But you can add something into the site on the home page, and that does help to have dynamic content, to have content always updating. And that doesn't have to be the whole focus of the site. You can still have both.
Right along those lines, everybody's always worried about their homepage getting on Google, like this particular client. But I myself, I'm on Google, but it's not my homepage. It's another page on my site. So I'm thinking, you can still be ranked number one on the same site, and optimizing that's good. Yes, sir.
Content is king.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how Google gets to your site.
Content is king.
Focus on the content.
And it's good to have people on board with that no SEO. It can get you up to the top or keep you on the top. But focus on the content that you're, if you don't, those that don't understand how SEO works, because there's so many different things you can do to get on the top of Google. It's not just one particular thing. If you're not really point on, if that's not something you do, bring somebody on board that does, or even network with somebody that does that specific thing. Because there are countless things to do. I'm worried about with SEO. It's not necessarily always the content. It could be a slew of things that could be wrong with why you're not on top, or why you're not number 1, or why you're number 3, or whatever the case may be. Focus on what area of your website you're good at. That's the content. Focus on the content. Have somebody else focus on the SEO. I mean, at this point, you're talking about somebody that's already on the top, right? You said number 1 for
a certain subject. So
For a certain keyword.
If you're on page 1 of Google, it doesn't have to be the home page. If you're on another page of sites and number 1 on Google, page 1 of Google.
Think about how you navigate a web page. If Google takes you to an arbitrary page on a website, I mean, in most cases, if you're interested in that content, you're probably going to click on the home button or the main logo to see what's this page about. How did I land it on this page? If you're interested genuinely, you're going to automatically go through that page. I mean, think about how your navigating habits is average to the masses. Go ahead.
I just want to focus on
his website. Thank you.
any suggestions?
Yeah, just to finish that up.
It's getting close to 8:30 again. I think that's when we have to get out of here.
Yeah.
I'll find out. Go ahead.
But just to finish that up, the obvious problem is that the homepage would need to be optimized more. It's great to have an interior page, but then the focus, like from then on, is to optimize the homepage. In here, the slider's way too fast. Right now, my mouse is over it, so it's slowed down. But typically, let me go to the.
Too quick on switching between the content.
Too quick switching between the content, you can't really consume it that well. It's just too fast. There's an option within the theme, and you can decide how long, how many seconds that this will stay. Basically, you'd want to make it longer, because right now you can't even, it's too fast. You can't even basically see what the category is, but you don't even have time to click on the details.
Good. Yeah, that's good. Like 5 seconds.
Within the slider, it was like 4,000 milliseconds, so I don't know how that equates to seconds. But typically like 4,000 to 5,000 milliseconds. However, that. But
make it long, either make it longer or make it shorter. That's very up to that's
So more with somebody seeing it on the phone versus on
See if it's responsive.
Yeah, this is not a responsive theme, unless if it's just the slider.
Go to always the left.
If you go to the Responsinator, if you type that URL and just put it into the Responsinator, you'll see exactly, everybody can see exactly what it looks like on an iPhone or an iPad. So just copy that URL, and then go to theresponsinator.com, and it will it'll show you exactly what the site is going to look like, an iPhone, Android, iPad, whatever.
I mean, right off the bat, you just resizing the browser. It's not responsive.
No.
So.
Well, that good chance it's not.
Well, I mean, that's the first giveaway, but I mean, it might have a mobile specific app. Do you have a mobile page template for this fight?
Not yet.
Okay.
But for your slider, like Taki said, slow it down. I would add navigation, like little arrows, so people don't have to wait. If they miss something that's too fast, they can go back. And normally, the sliders, it probably take less and more for sliders. Sliders are overdone anyway. So,
2 or 3 max.
So
Yeah, I wouldn't put all of your categories within here.
we should really do a testing session.
I would do like I don't know. It's not about service. It's almost about process. So that's lies.
I would rather you not do the slider at all. Just put that information up there and enticing up for somebody to click on that and go further detail on your page. Especially if it's not mobile.
So you're from the sliders, sliders stuff.
It serves a purpose, but it's kind of like we're in 2013 now. They're kind of an overdone design. And just like the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Because that photo on the left is taking a huge amount of real estate. Guys, I mean, if it works for you, and it's embedding the message, it's great. It's also good testing to play, like with your analytics. Like
I'll give you one.
All that text and that button and then the graphic, like somebody can absorb all that in. It's
a lot.
When you put the cursor, though, it slows. It actually stops.
Yeah, that's typical of a slider.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Nobody's going to notice slowing down much. I mean, regularly, it's just marked out. I will, but I've seen that in the past. But
As far as use of the slider, this is just an overdone slider because you have the picture coming in and you have the text moving. Then you also have each category underneath here, and on top of that, it's taking up more than half your site.
So what about the rest of the day? The rest of the day, what do you think of it?
Okay, hold on, guys.
yeah.
You want to celebrate
Well, why don't you use that as your motto? We don't sell services, we sell strategies. No, you seem like a smart guy. I think you would come up with your own market. I don't know. I'm looking at it as somebody who's trying to share what you've got.
Is there any way to have a menu wide that goes frame by frame by frame? That's the way I wrote the next one.
I've done a lot of people.
Yeah, but
That would seem
The only thing is those arrows at the bottom that actually slide that whole thing widgets to the next set of widgets. It doesn't like slide it to the next.
Yeah, the lesson.
So that, yeah, I need to fix that. You know, it slides to the next slide, and afterwards, maybe a pause and favor, and then you finish.
Focus on the message, and then once you get that down, put it in something that says the rest of the name.
all right, let's move on.
Designer to the media truth and maybe help you develop that.
Yeah, because even if you were to fix the slider, it still takes up more than half the site. Like if you focus on a newspaper per se, it takes up your entire half fold, the top fold.
It looks nice though.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, you wanted 2 cents?
We got it.
You know what I just want to sorry.
Go ahead.
This
Real
is
quick.
the last
Last
comment.
thing.
Like when it's sliding, there's 1 and 2. So maybe if you just let it slide once. How much the speed is too much on the
Yeah.
first speed is really fast.
Yeah.
well, like Rick said, 2 or 3 slides and make it slower and then make it work.
Okay, guys, let's wrap it up there. I know we can talk about this on an endless amount. Let's give a hand to Jackie. She's getting away from that. Okay, so also we recorded everything from tonight on Google Hangout. The post will be up on our Twitter page and our Facebook later on. We do have a. You want to go get rid of the giveaways real quick? While
you
I
collect
thank
those.
you. If you have your business cards, go ahead and pass them up. We do have a winner on the Twitter. And I think she knows who she is.
Winner of the Twitter.
And that's Red. Estella. She posted every word. Every word that was said.
That's cool. That's good.
That's cool.
Before you go to sleep tonight, I know you work thing with mailing list why I will find you.
Thank you. All right. So some other things before everybody leaves.
If I can get everybody's attention. I want to also thank our hosts here at Planet Linux. They are amazing. They are an amazing help for allowing us to be able to do these events. They're having an event
They're having an event
this Thursday, February 7th.
This Thursday, February 7th at 6 p.m.
For those of you guys who know
MongoDB,
if you guys know what that is, raise your hand.
If you guys know what that is,
awesome. So they're having an event, and they have two specific software engineers from Tengen coming in, Robert Stam and Jeremy Nicola. They are MongoDB scheme designer and one's going to be talking about intro into MongoDB, and the other one's going to be talking about scheme design specifically. So if you guys are interested in that, please come out. Again, that's Thursday, February 7th, 6 p.m. We're not doing it, but Planet Linux is hosting that event here. Okay? Let's give them a hand, actually. They're good. Throughout the rest of the week, they have multiple different events. Please see them on their Twitter, on their Facebook. At Planet Linux, I think it is. Hold on, I just tweeted it out.
I think it's Cafe Linux.
Cafe Linux, is that what it is? Hold on. Where is it? I'll meet on somebody if you find it.
There's 2 F's in Cafe.
Cafe Linux. CAFFE LINUX.
Thank you. Okay? Tweet about them. tag that you were here. Let's really like put an effort out to help them out. They donate this space for us free of charge, so tremendous help in that end. Also, our other organizers, let's give them a hand as well, because they do work tirelessly to make this a possibility. David and Diana, Jackie, myself, Michael, who's not here. No clap for him. But these guys make it possible to create this community as well as continue these meetups, because it is a lot of time to pull out of our busy schedules, obviously, as well as put together big events like WordCamp. Again, I urge you guys to visit the website, to sign up for the newsletter or for the email, as well as just keep on the loop of all those announcements, because we are going to be announcing some really amazing things very shortly. Some crazy things. I wish I could tell you, it's so awesome. That's how excited I am about it. So that being said, I want to thank you guys for coming out. We also have our Fort Lauderdale events. That's every first Thursday of the month. Okay, if you want to keep involved in those events, make sure you're on the meetup page or you get the emails so that you're able to know when the next meetup is.
Yeah, the next Fort Lauderdale meetup is February 7th, and it'll be at Nova Southeastern University, which is our, like you said, every first Thursday we're at Nova Southeastern University, and the topic is SEO.
Yeah.
So our guru, Michael Quintero, will be speaking on that. He's
we know that you guys live in Miami, so if you guys can't make it to that, we know where you'll be, right? Okay. Anyway, that being said, thank you guys so much for coming out. At this time, go ahead and, if you guys want to network, I encourage you. I love the networking, but let's draw the giveaway. Sorry. Biz read our, she won the first Twitter giveaway. Oh, you have one. Okay. Let's get it done. For this one? Free SEO for Mike. Okay, good. Okay.
There you go.
Questions? Oh, we didn't have time for
the tutoring?
Jackie, quickly find out.
Up until 9.
Up to 9. Alright, if you guys have questions, we're going to have the panel of experts come up here and just help you out as best possible. Okay? We have...
If you have super technical questions, Diana is your girl.
Yeah. Media-related questions, I'm your guy. SEO, marketing, Jackie.
Yeah.
Developers that are hardcore is Diana and David, okay? The winner of the SEO is, close your eyes, Jackie.
Miami on the cheap.
Miami on the cheap, okay.
She already knows it.
Okay, well then let's take another one.
There you go. Oh, this is a good one because yours didn't get evaluated. Arts and Culture TV. You get a free SEO evaluation.
Let me close this out.
Sure.